Yo, it's your boy Bernard, aka the Scarlet Spider, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I will be talking about all the nerdy things that caught my eye this past week. Alright, so one of the first that actually happened, I want to say Friday, and I was just like, okay, we're doing this. Teen Titans will be getting a live action movie at DC Studios, and Anna Nagueira, who is the writer of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, will be writing the screenplay. So for those of you who don't know the origins of the Teen Titans comics per se, I'm just going to give you a quick backstory. So the team was first introduced in the mid-1960s, and the first iteration of the team was Dick Grayson Robin, Kid Flash Wally West, Aqualad, and Wonder Girl, who is Donna Troy. And Aqualad was Garth. Garth doesn't have a last name, and it's not Brooks, so don't even bother to make the joke. But later on, so Speedy joined the team, who is a Green Arrow sidekick. And then, like in the late 80s, the book was relaunched with the new Teen Titans. So with the new Teen Titans, you got Beast Boy, Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire. And then, like the book has had like different iterations of the teams. So like almost every Robin has been a Teen Titan with the exception of Jason Todd. Every Kid Flash has also been a Titan. Every Speedy or Red Arrow or Green Arrow sidekick and so on and so forth. But a lot of people got introduced to Teen Titans because of the Cartoon Network show that was on in the mid-2000s. And now the younger generation has been introduced because of Teen Titans Go, unfortunately. And apparently, Anna Nagueira is also active. She's been on the Vampire Diaries. She was on the Michael J. Fox show. But yeah, like I said, she is writing, but she wrote the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow script. I mean, let's just hope it's good. Because the Teen Titans, the live action treatment they got was good, but it could have been better with Titans on this DC Universe or Max now. It's like they tried to go a little bit too gritty, but the Titans are very grounded. Yes, they fight a giant demon and all, but still, they're grounded for the most part. So let's hope we get, a good casting. Like the show on Max had good casting. It's just like a lot of people complained about the budget because Beast Boy only turned into one animal, but the show was still good. So complain all you want. All right. While we're talking about TV shows or comic book franchises that have been adapted into live action, Charlie Cox was at Awesome Con in DC. And, he was asked the question of how does he feel now that Karen Page and Eldon Henson are in Daredevil Born Again? Because, as we all know, they weren't originally going to be in the show, but Marvel decided to reboot the entire property as a whole. And honestly, I'm just going to post what he said right here because the only person who can really talk on this is Charlie.
What's your name?
Hello, my name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, I was just wondering how you feel about Foggy and Karen being in the show now.
Aw, it's so cool, man. So cool. Yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking when they weren't around initially, and when we came back to filming and they had made some changes, which you guys obviously probably read about and stuff. It was clear that Foggy and Karen are kind of the heartbeat of our show, and always were, and so it was really special to have them back. And yeah, huge shout out to both. To Deborah and to Eldon, So I know there's been photos, there were some set photos.
As I said before, when Daredevil Born Again first went into production, it appeared to be disconnected from the original Netflix series, and the only two people who were going to be returning were Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. But yeah, beyond that, there was no indication that the new series would actually function as a continuation, but rather a complete reboot. But like I said, last fall, when the writer and actor strike happened, Disney said, nah, we just got to start this over from scratch. And, we bringing back Foggy and Karen because what is Daredevil without his best friend and his love interest? And it's also rumored that John Bernthal will be returning as the Punisher, and we already got confirmation that Wilson Bethel will be returning as Bullseye. And I don't know. John Bernthal seemed to double down on the rumors that he would be returning because he decided to post the one batch, two batch, penny and dime from the Daredevil series from season 2 on his Instagram, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, Frank is back." So let's hope he's back and he's just not fooling around with people, or we might be getting another Punisher series. But can't wait to watch Daredevil Born Again, and honestly, I don't think anyone can. All right, James Marsden, who we all know from Sonic the Hedgehog, Sex Tape, and X-Men. Because honestly, I can't think of anything else he was in, and that's all. Superman Returns. But people don't like to talk about that movie. So he was actually doing an interview with the Playlist. It was him and Michael Keaton, and they were discussing a film that Michael Keaton is directing. It's called Knox Goes Away, and they hit him with the question that everyone else has been hitting him with. It's like, yo, are you in Deadpool and Wolverine?
James, my boys would choke me if I didn't ask about Sonic 3. That was the first movie that I took my 4-year-old to. He absolutely loves it. Yeah.
4-year-old had a better experience than you did it for. Or not. I mean,
I also took him to The Flash, so I probably broke him a little bit there.
You did? What did he do when he saw all these things? He flipped out.
He loved him. He's just like me.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing that. Yeah, we just wrapped. Actually, we were near the Deadpool stages actually over there in Pinewood.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This little Pandora's box. Yeah, no. Look, I didn't. I think franchises. I even hate that word franchise, but a movie where you make several of them sequels, and that's kind of come. You don't really see that often happen much anymore. So I feel really proud of how what we've created and the response from the fans and everything. We just had to get the animation right in that first movie, but great family, all positive. Jim's just having a ball. He's in his inspiration zone, and it just keeps.
Plus, people haven't seen him for a while too, and he's wildly imaginative.
Yeah, he really is, and he comes to set with kind of like you mentioned, like pages and pages.
Really,
sheet music for the day, like really calculated, prepared. So it's a joy to watch him have a good time. Really enjoying it again. So it's great. It's very lucky to be a part of it, and I think fans are going to be excited about all the new characters. Your boy.
I can't wait to see all of it. Yeah, my little boy will be there with bells on, man.
Excited about Shadow coming in.
Absolutely. Nope, he knows all about it. All about it. But they're giving me the rap. They're going to pull me out of here.
He didn't necessarily say no per se, but he just kind of tiptoed around the question. So it might be like a quick cameo. Who knows? I really felt like in the original trilogy that Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner directed, because Singer didn't come back for X-Men 3. He was working on production of Superman Returns at the time. Cyclops got done dirty, okay? Cyclops gets done dirty in a lot of stuff outside of the comics. I just realized that, especially on this binge watch of X-Men 92. Like, Wolverine just, dog walked him, almost every single time he could. To the point where he cut the roof off the man's car and told Jean, "Tell Cyclops, I made him a convertible. I am running on 0 energy, so obviously I got my W." But if James Marsden is indeed in Deadpool Wolverine, and he's in there for a significant amount of time, don't make the boy look like a cuck, okay? Everyone likes Cyclops, but I get it. People like Wolverine more, but still. Just don't have Cyclops out here looking like a dumbass. All right, so an individual I've met. How many times have I met this man? Sure. 3 times? Yeah, I want to say 3 times. And sometimes you shouldn't meet your heroes, but I had to. Austin St. John, who we all know and probably no longer love as Jason Lee Scott, the original Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, is out here ruining our childhood by launching a clothing line that has quotes from historical leaders and warriors, and he said I'm just gonna play what he said.
So, is there anything you need people out there to know? For sure. I mean, even if it's just cons and this and that, and
Sure. Yeah. I've just re-released my major website. So if you're looking for my con site or my con schedule, it's there. You just go to www.austinst.biz and you can find my con sites, my e-commerce, my clothing line, my jewelry line. You can find my comics there.
clothing line. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
So I have some Ranger-oriented clothes, and then I'm building a Warrior line where I will go back in history, from pre-Greek days as far back as I can. I'm going to have famous quotes from warriors of all ilks, including the terrible ones.
Wow.
Hitler was, a demon on steroids, but he had some pretty good one-liners.
I'll be darned.
So everybody from the great ones to the infamous and terrible ones, and I'm going to have quotes in their languages put up in Japanese, English, Russian, Greek, whatever it was, and then in English, and I'm going to have some kanji kana done and some various other artwork. But the point is to look to our past, to leaders, both good and terrible, and take from them what you can. I mean, Bruce Lee's going to be in there. Chuck Norris, who's one of my guys that I looked up to.
Yeah.
So I'm
He's
building,
a nice guy too.
He's incredible. He's an incredible guy. One of the last real gentlemen out there.
Yeah.
So those I just started releasing. There's a few on there, and you'll see it. It's in kanji, which for those of you who don't know what that is, it can be Chinese. It can be any Eastern Asian writing, and I'm sure I'm going to get corrected on this too. But I don't write in the stuff. I just pay people to do it better than I can. So there's going to be cool translations, and that's the Warrior line I'm going to continue to build out, and then so many things that I'm working on. But you can find almost all of it there, from my comic books to my schedule.
He said that the idea behind the line is to look to our past and take from them what we can. But Amy Jo Johnson, who we all know as Kimberly Hart, OG Pink Ranger, said some people need to have publicists.
Bruh.
And she wrote a comic book called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Return, and she obviously hinted at that because something happens in the book. And she said, Rogue Red Ranger has an entire new meaning. Okay, guys, I'll stop now. But Austin, you cannot put out a line of clothes with quotes from Hitler. And I still can't believe this man said Hitler has some good one-liners. Like what? We are the superior race?
You're so dumb. You are really dumb.
Because you need to make that make sense. He hasn't clarified anything he said whatsoever. He's still trying to get people to sign up for his fan word account, which is not necessarily like an OnlyFans thing, but it's a subscription based like tier type situation where you get like signed collectibles. So he's selling like Power Ranger hats, Zords, postcards, comic books, etc., etc. But it's like, bro, you just really, you're not even ruining the Power Ranger brand at this point. You're just really ruining your brand. So between you and your rep from Galactic Productions, if you're still with them, who said he was glad that Jason David Frank was dead last year, it's like, bro, no one's gonna come to see you and buy any of your merch, unfortunately. So you better rectify this like as soon as you can, because it's like, what the fuck were you thinking? Were you like high in that interview? I watched some of it. I didn't watch the entire hour, but come on, man. And I really hope like they put Jim Cummings, because it's his podcast. Jim Cummings is the voice of Darkwing Duck, and he's a voice of a bunch of Disney characters we had growing up. Like they put a disclaimer like either at the beginning or the end of the pod, because I'm just like, outlook not so good. Like they really needed somebody like to pull a Van Lathan and just come out of like right field, like how he did with Kanye when Kanye said slavery was a choice. Because it's just like some things Hitler had a bunch of one-liners, bro. Oh my God. Come on, Jason. Steven Spielberg, who we all know for directing a lot of our favorite movies, from The Color Purple, Jurassic Park, Ready Player One, E.T., the funny thing is, I know more movies that Spielberg has produced and directed, so I'm going to go to his filmography real quick. All right, filmography of Steven Spielberg. All right. Forgot he directed Jaws. All right, Close Encounters, Raiders, the Twilight Zone movie, Indiana Jones. Did he direct all the Indiana Jones movies? He did the first one, Temple of Doom, yeah, Last Crusade, Hook, Schindler's List, The Lost World, Amistad, Saving Private Ryan, AI, Minority Report. Oh man, he directed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Steven, we ain't have to do that one. I forgot he did The Adventures of Tintin. I might rewatch that this week. The BFG, What's That Story? But he has confirmed that Ready Player 2 is in development. So he was doing an interview with Showbiz 411, and he said we're in the discovery phase trying to figure out what's next. So hopefully this franchise actually, picks up, because when the hell did Ready Player 1 come out again? 2015? Oh, 2018. So yeah, it's been 6 years since the last one, and I think it's time. I mean, I don't think Ty Sheridan is like attached to any franchises anymore, because X-Men is done. He's 27, so he's still got some time. I didn't even know there was a Palestine in Texas. That's where he's from, apparently. Yeah, and it looks like he only has like one movie. Oh, never mind, that came out last year. Yeah, he's got one movie called The Order that's supposed to be coming out that he's filming at the moment. So yeah, can we just hurry up and get Ty Sheridan back as what was his character's name again? Wade Watts. I know it was alliterative. Uh, yeah, I was right. Wade Watts, aka Percival. Let's get to it. I mean, the first one made $607 million worldwide, had a positive score of 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. So can we please hurry up and get the Ready Player 2 ASAP? Because it seems like everyone wants to adapt comic book novels. I mean, not comic book novels, comic books into film. You don't really get that many novels anymore that are adapted into movies, unless it's like, The Hunger Games. And even then, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes wasn't a book until I want to say like 3 years ago, and they adapted that shit fast. Let me see when this was adapted. I'm not when it was adapted. When did the book come out? Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That book came out in 2020.
God damn.
And they made that movie that fast. So can we please get Ready Player 2? Sooner the better, please. I would greatly appreciate it. I don't want to be 45 like, oh yeah, I remember when the first one came out. I'm like, that was 2018, goddamn. Right. So I don't know how many of you are fans of holiday movies. And by holiday movies, I mean obviously everything that's centered around Christmas, because that's really the only holiday that we get movies, well, with the exception of Independence Day and Thanksgiving. And I mean the movie Independence Day and the movie Thanksgiving. The horror movie Thanksgiving, that's that. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in a Christmas comedy called The Man with the Bag with Alan Ritchson, who we know from being Jack Reacher on Reacher, Aquaman on Smallville. He was in Fast 10, Your Seatbelts, and Titans as Hawk. He was Hawk, right? Yeah, Hawk. He was a big motherfucker. All right, so yeah, so basically the film is going to be, here's the synopsis. When Santa's magical bag is stolen, he turns to his naughty list to find Vance, a former thief, to help him get it back. Along with his daughter, Santa and a group of misfit elves, Vance will have to pull off the greatest heist of his life to save Christmas. So, best guess, Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing Santa, because I don't think I can see Arnold Schwarzenegger playing a thief. But then again, I also really can't see Alan Richardson's big ass like playing like, I mean, what kind of thief? Is he going to be like a cat burglar or what? But yeah, it's crazy. Arnold Schwarzenegger hasn't starred in a movie since 2019, and that was Kung Fury 2. But it's supposed to start shooting later on this year. Adam Shankman will be directing the film, and this, like I said, this will be going to Prime. So they're gonna have two Christmas movies like back to back, or is it gonna be like a year apart? Because The Rock has Red One coming out Christmas of this year with him and Chris Evans. I'm trying to think what movies I've seen Adam Shankman direct. All right, Bringing Down the House, The Pacifier, Cheap About a Dozen 2. That's all the movies I've seen him direct. But he has done The Wedding Planner, A Walk to Remember, Bringing Down the House, The Pacifier, Cheap About a Dozen 2, Hairspray, Bedtime Stories, Rock of Ages. Oh, he directed What Men Want. Hocus Pocus. Oh, he produced Hocus Pocus 2. And he also directed Disenchanted. But hey, I'm down for it. Shoot, why not? Let Arnold Schwarzenegger be Santa. Ho, ho, ho. I mean, if he can be Mr. Freeze, he can be Santa Claus, right? All right. Nicolas Cage, who we all know and love for a variety of reasons, but one of my favorite Nicolas Cage franchises is indeed the National franchise is the National Treasure franchise, and he said, "Yo, there will not be a National Treasure 3." So I'm like, "What do you mean there's not going to be a National Treasure 3?" So he was doing an interview with Screen Rant, and he spoke on the chances of National Treasure 3. He said that, you see, the one thing, so he was talking to the interviewer. He said, "See, you're the one that brings up these things, and then they eclipse everything." He's like, "No, there's no National Treasure 3. If you want to find treasure, don't look at Disney, okay? It's not there." So I don't get why Disney hasn't done a National Treasure 3. They did this show. What the hell was the name of that show again? I watched it too. Edge of History. And it would have been nice to like have that set up and be like a third movie or something, but they just never did it. And it's just like, why? I mean, you've had Justin Bartha appear on the show and Harvey Keitel. You actually killed off his character and his little sidekick, Harvey Keitel's sidekick or partner in the FBI, who's, spoiler alert, turned out to be a bad guy. But it would have been nice to see Benjamin Gates again. Also, despite the fact that John Voight is who he is. And also Sony, like I said before, Sony has confirmed that a Spider-Man Noir series is in development at Amazon. And it's also rumored that Nicolas Cage will be in it, but I don't know what the deal is per se. I gotta really try to look into this Sony Marvel deal. But Peter Parker will not be in it. So I don't get how you do a Spider-Man Noir series that Peter Parker isn't in it. It's just like the same way how the fuck we do a Venom movie with no Peter Parker. I get that they've done 2 of them, but make it make sense. It's like, that's why Madam Web didn't fucking work. It's why you can tell Kraven the Hunter's backstory, but eventually he's got to come face to face with a Spider-Man at least. I'm just like, oh my God. Can I get a National Treasure 3, please? I'm almost out of Dubby. And with that said, here's a message from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to Debbie.gg and use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Debbie.gg with promo code AngryBlerd10. All right, and we are back. So, guys, we officially have an announcement of Super Mario Bros. 2, the movie, coming out in 2026. But instead of a sequel, Shigeru Miyamoto, who is the producer of the first movie, I believe he's also the creator of Mario. Let me double check this real quick. He said that this film will not be a direct sequel, but the film will be broadening Mario's world. So, yeah, he created Mario. All right. So they put out an announcement on Twitter that said this was actually on Mario Day. Hopefully you guys got some Mario stuff on a discount. They said we are now creating a new animated film based on the world of Super Mario Brothers. This film is planned for release in theaters April 3rd, 2026 in the US and many other markets and throughout the and throughout the month of April in other territories. We'll let you know the details once we're ready to share more. This time, the staff at Illumination and Nintendo are working together. This time too. And we're thinking of broadening Mario's world further, and it'll have a bright and fun story. So honestly, I can't wait for it. I was very hesitant with the first one, but that was mainly because Chris Pratt was providing the voice of Mario. But Chris Pratt did a good job. Don't know how he's going to do his Garfield, because honestly, I don't have any interest in Garfield. So I would really like to see like how they're going to broaden the world per se, because I mean, like, it's like Mario and his family going to move to the Mushroom Kingdom, or what? Is Mario going to become a doctor? These are the questions that I have. It's less like Mario has had like 58 million jobs. I mean, outside of being a plumber. So, come on now. Venom 3 has gotten some updates. And one of those updates is the title will now be Venom, The Last Dance. So I'm pretty sure like me and everyone who was in 2020, stuck in the house, watched a little documentary called The Last Dance, and it was just basically Michael Jordan talking his shit about all his, former teammates. Not really talking shit, but he was taking a lot of stuff personal. So I wonder if this is going to be shot like in a documentary style, and I really hope it isn't. But then again, it's a Venom movie done by Sony, and those movies are never really good. So yeah, it is also confirmed that they have moved the shuffling date around to October 25th, 2024. So it moved up about 2.5 weeks. So yeah, it was originally supposed to come out November 8th, 2024. So it was originally it was rescheduled to come out November 8th, but it was originally supposed to come out this June, but that was put on hold because of the writer's strike. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but I don't really follow Tom Hardy, but he posted a on-set photo of him in what it appeared to be his costume that he was wearing at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. So maybe this is picking up directly right after, he left a little bit of symbiote behind, but we'll find out when we find out. And who knows when the trailer is going to drop. Maybe we'll get the trailer. I mean, the movie comes out in October, so maybe like May, June, like maybe just like at the beginning of summer. I don't know, but hey, we'll find out when we find out. And speaking of movies, the Batman 2 has been delayed until 2026.
What the hell?
And this is coming from the Insider, who I said before that I trust more than Daniel RPK. And the reasons that are rumored for the delay are the lack of available stages for filming, and the script isn't ready due to the strikes, and that production will begin in early 2025. And everyone's like, yo, why in the hell is the script not done? Okay, The Batman came out in 2020. But you really can't, you can't rush product, because otherwise you're going to end up with like the stuff that everyone's complaining about, with Marvel, like everything's being rushed. But yeah, it is delayed until April 2nd, 2026. So I don't know if Matt Reeves has anything else going on, but bruh, people on Twitter are pissed. So I don't know what to tell y'all. Just learn to be patient. I don't know what the hell is up with everybody not having patience anymore. Patience is a virtue, people. Stick with it. All right. So this is some X-Men 97 news. And I hope everyone is planning on watching X-Men 97 on March 20th, I believe the date is. I'm double checking that right now, because I also posted the release date. for the season. Yeah, March 20th. And it is a 10 episode list. Yeah, so we'll be going from March 20th to May 15th. So, Beau DeMayo, who is the creator of X-Men 97, was fired basically like the week before the premiere. He also worked on Moon Knight and Blade, so he will no longer be promoting the show or moving forward with future seasons. Apparently, he also he completed his writing duties on season 2, and he was lining up press to make plans to attend the show's premiere that happened on the 13th. And he was even discussing ideas for season 3 with members of the team, but Marvel and DeMayo suddenly parted ways. His company email was deactivated, and the cast and crew were informed that he was no longer informed of the project. DeMayo's Instagram account, which was a source of X-Men updates, was deleted, and no reason was given for the firing. So, the rumor that everyone is saying on the internet, and I don't really like the rumors on the internet, but everyone's saying this because he has an OnlyFans or had an OnlyFans. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Marvel already knew he had an OnlyFans at the time of his hiring. He's been working at Marvel since November of 2021. So it's just like, I don't know why he got fired, but who cares if he has an OnlyFans? It's money that he makes on the side. It's not like he's like, oh, here's a picture of me drawing Cyclops and jerking off on him, to the best of my knowledge, But hey, it is what it is, unfortunately. But I don't remember if I went over the name of these episodes for X-Men. So March 20th, 2-episode season premiere. The first episode is To Me, My X-Men, and Mutant Liberation Begins. That will be airing on March 20th. March 27th, Fire Made Flesh. All right, April 3rd, Motendo / Life Death Part 1. April 10th, Remember It. April 17th, Life Death Part 2. April 24th, Bright Eyes. And in X-Men fashion, the season finale will be 3 parts. So May 1st, 8th, and 15th will be Tolerance is Extinctions Part 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if y'all saw it, but the Crow trailer dropped, I want to say Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And as a fan of the OG movie, it is on the shelf that y'all can see because I blurred my background. What the fuck is this? Seriously, like, some things don't need to be remade. Like I said this last week, right? When I think it was last week when we got the rumor that the trailer was dropping. You could have told a Crow story without making it Eric Draven and Shelley Webster, because, like, what? It's like y'all just like made like Eric seem like he's very edgelord and gothy, and it's like they look like they were on like the scene. The trailer opens with like it looks like they're doing fucking Squid Game. So I'm gonna watch this movie despite the fact that it looks like The Crow meets John Wick, and it's been a while since I've read the original comic, and I know they changed a lot of the stuff in the 1994 film because of Brandon Lee's passing. Like, he was supposed to have like an arbiter or somebody like to help guide him through like the world of the living and the dead, but I definitely need to reread that comic to make sure they aren't bastardizing James O'Barr's original story. Because for those of you who don't know the story, he wrote this like to get out of his depression when his fiance died. I don't remember if she was murdered or not, but I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Can we just like Marvel is pretty good with like getting people to adapt stories. But like sometimes when they try to do their own thing, they kind of drop the ball. Hence Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania not making any money, but that's neither here nor there. But it's always like the indie books that get adapted into film. They just like they seem to fall apart like somewhere like in the middle, and it's just like, can we please just like do like these properties justice? As a fan of The Crow, I don't really ask for much. I just want stuff to be done right. Is that too much to ask for? So, Spider-Man, um, the Insomniac franchise. So I told y'all a few months ago. Was it a few months ago? I don't remember when it was, but I told y'all that Insomniac was working on a multiplayer Spider-Man game, and I believe it was supposed to be a live service game. And I know I'm a hypocrite because I said, "Who the hell wants a live-action Suicide Squad game? I mean, a live service Suicide Squad game." And DC just doubled down, like I said last week, by making Hogwarts Legacy 2 a live service game. But this one actually looks pretty good. So the trailer got leaked for the multiverse game. I mean, the multiplayer Spider-Man: The Great Web. And I'm going to post it here. So if you're on YouTube, enjoy the video and the audio. But if you're listening, just enjoy the audio. I don't know what to tell you. Watch on YouTube.
New York City. Nothing in the whole world I wouldn't do for this big, beautiful apple. One moment, you're scarfing down a slice from Vinny's. The next, you're stopping a supervillain prison break. Sometimes you can swing it as a lone wolf, but you're way better off with some friends. I got a fool that tells me what to do. Sometimes I feel so nice. I want to try myself a few. I got soul, and I'm super bad. I've seen the Sinister Six before. Never so methodical, so savage. I don't think I'm gonna be enough this time, guys. But together, it just might be. You in? I'm super.
All right. So, Screen Rant, who I kind of have a love-hate relationship with as far as getting my news go, they basically said that, this was the right call to cancel this game. But a lot of people saying, nah, man, this should have been a game because it looks lit because you get to play as multiple Spider people and so on and so forth. But some people expressed disappointment with the cancellation of the game, leading to online petitions to bring it back. And so this was actually teased in the game, and everyone who played Spider-Man 2 thought this was maybe a teaser to like the Spider-Verse films. So there's actually like a mission where you collect these mini spider bots and you come across a portal and somebody just takes the bots from you. And it was just like, But also, the game was going to have a 5-player co-op, which you don't really see in a lot of like multiplayer games. Like, I don't know what the limit is or the maximum is for Call of Duty because I don't play Call of Duty. But like the few multiplayer games I did play, it was just like 3 or 4 at best, unless you're playing online. But I don't know if that's an online thing or if this is like in person. It's probably online because no one like there really aren't that many multiplayer games that you can play with a friend in the same house anymore. But yeah, so the trailer showed Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Ben Reilly, 2099, Silk, who was also, spoiler alert, teased at the end of Spider-Man 2, and a few other Spider-Women alongside Madam Web with concept art. I posted some of it on our, well, why am I saying our? It's mine. It's me. I'm by myself on my podcast Instagram page with the trailer. But yeah, so I would have, like, I'm not a fan of live service games, but I am a fan of Spider-Man, and this is one that I would have rocked with. And I know. But Bernard, you said, I know what I said. I said what I said, like Nene Leak said. Would I have been buying like loot boxes and all that shit? No, because I don't do that. That's one of the things I do not do in any type of game. I'll buy DLC, but you are not going to convince me to shell out like $10 for a skin, like, ever. Like, unless, like, let's say I buy like a PlayStation gift card and I got like $5 left and I can't find anything. That's the only way I'll do it. And I did that with Avengers. Like I did it for like an Iron Man skin. I bought I forgot what game I bought. I either bought a game or I bought DLC. But like in-game content, no, not really. All right, guys. So Invincible is back with season 2, episode 5, and I'm just like, who else is not paying for who else isn't giving Amazon $3 for no ads? Me. So for those of you who watched the episode, you might have noticed that you've had 3 ad slots. And I honestly thought this was not going to be like this, because when I watched, what the hell is the name of that Snoop movie with my boy Andrew Schultz in it? The Underdogs. We only had like 2 ads at the beginning of the movie, and that was it. But the show started with ads, and we got 2 ad spaces in between, so 3 ads in total. But here is the review for season 2, episode 5. This must come as a shock. 3 months later, we finally got this episode of Invincible. All right, so this episode picks up where like episode 4 left off, with Mark still on Thraxian and fucked up from his fight with the Viltrumites, and he's there by himself, and they patch him up, and 2 months pass, and the Thraxian who came and got him, who pretended to be Seance Dog. Yes, Seance Dog, because they can't use Science Dog, is older and said, hey man, we built your ship, it's time for you to go home. And he's like, no, I don't want to go home just yet. And what was her name? His name was Nozat. I cannot remember the name of his brother's mom. I feel like it started with a T. Oh no, Andressa. So Andressa said, yeah, Mark, you gotta go, but I need you to take your brother with you. And he's like, but you're his mom. And she's like, yo, look at me, I'm old as fuck. And we met like 2 months ago. So Mark goes home, he tells his mom everything that happened. And she's like, yo, you just fucking came here with this baby, yo. And yeah, so he goes back to college, and Randall, is his friend's name Randall? See, this is what happens when you go on a break, bro. I don't even remember characters' names anymore. Good grief. Let's look this up real quick. Randall. Who is it? William. Really? They don't have him listed here on yeah, William. William is basically like made the dorm his own. So he's got rid of all the Mark stuff. And Cecil stops him, is like, yo, so you weren't gonna tell me you were back despite you went anyway, despite the fact that I told you not to go. And they have a conversation, and Cecil basically like spills the beans that they bugged Debbie's house, but it's for her quote unquote safety. And they're never like really like paying attention to what she's saying. They're just like listening for keywords like Nolan or Omni-Man. And so they know about the baby, and Mark's like, nah, don't go and get my brother, okay? That's my responsibility, and I'll check in tomorrow. He goes to Amber's dorm, pretty much explains to her everything that's happened and the 2 months that he's been going, while Amber also tells him like, yo, you were gone, but I also went through a lot of stuff, like my grandfather died and you weren't there, and people start to think I was crazy, like I made up a boyfriend and everything. But yeah, he seems to care, but he also seems like, not my problem. Shakesmith decides to come clean that he's a Martian, because we also get a flashback sequence of when the Guardians of the Globe were fighting in Omnipotus, and Black Samson saw that Shapesmith was an alien, but everyone was like, yeah, dude, we already know. He's like, what? So I was the last one to know? And the Sequids are coming to Earth because of Shapesmith basically knocking out the astronaut he has been pretending to be. So they took over his body, and they got to assemble a team. So Rex goes to Eve, like, yo, we need your help with this. So, Rex is one of those characters, if you read the book, he's really a dick, but he does have those moments where, you root for Rex, and this was one of those moments. So the team going into space is Immortal, Monster Girl, Robot, Bulletproof, Invincible, Black Samson, and Adam Eve, unless I'm missing somebody. So that's 7 people, and 5 of them are from the Guardians of the Globe. So your team is basically cut short. So the only people left on Earth are Rex, Duplicate, and Shrinking Ray. So they're just chilling at their headquarters, ordering pizza, fucking around and whatnot. And they get a call that the Lizard League has basically taken over a military base that has nukes. And so while we're dealing with 8 people, because I forgot Shapesmith. So while we're dealing with the situation in space, the Lizard League has got the base. It does not end well for our 3 members of the Guardians of the Globe. So Kate is dead. Like, we've seen her dupes die, but if you ever pay attention to Duplicate's suit, they're numbered. So every time she makes a dupe, it says, the main one is 1, obviously 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. 1 and 2 get their heads crushed by this big old dude from the Lizard League. Shrinking Ray, basically pulls a Sue Dibney. So Sue Dibney is a character from DC. She was married to Ralph until she kind of used his she was married to Ray Palmer, the Atom. And I'm sorry, Sue died. I'm getting so fucked up. So let's redo this. So her powers are very similar to Ray Palmer's, who is the Atom. So Shrinking Ray pulled a Jean Lauren on Sue Dibney. So there's a comic called I'm gonna say Infinity Crisis, getting my comics mixed up. Identity Crisis, where Sue, who is the wife of the elongated man, is somehow murdered. And everyone thinks like this one guy did it, but he didn't do it. But you find out that throughout the series that, somebody stepped on her brain that basically caused her to have an aneurysm. So she did that to one of the members of the Lizard League, and she was getting ready to attack the big guy who killed Kate. And he grabbed her and swallowed her, and she tried to grow in, I don't know if it was his stomach acid or what, but he killed her. And so Rex is left by himself. He takes out the last 2 members of the Lizard League. He blows one up, and the guy who killed Duplicate and Shrinking Ray bites off his hand while he has a quarter, because Rex likes to use quarters for some reason, to blow up the guy's head. And the leader has a gun pointed to Rex's head, and then it fades to black. But meanwhile in space, our Guardians and Invincible and Eve are on a ship, and the ship with the sequence on it blows up their spaceship, and Eve has basically atomized their way through the Martian ship. And Bulletproof, as much as I like Bulletproof can be very idiotic sometimes. So he destroyed one of the sequence, not knowing that they have a hive mind, and they have to work their way out of that situation. And in our mid-credit scene, we found out that Alan is still alive. And Alan has gotten stronger after Thaddeus pulled the plug on him to quote-unquote try to kill him. Because if you read the comics, you would know that Alan's race, or some of Alan's race, are kind of like Viltrumites, where, they get their asses whooped. Or Saiyans, they get their asses whooped, they get stronger. And Alan's like, nah, man, I ain't fighting no more Viltrumites. I almost died last time. I saw my eye get punched out of my face. I saw that with my own eye. And Thaddeus reveals that he indeed was a Viltrumite this whole time. So the episode was good, but the 2-month delay Was it 2 months? I don't know. 3 months? However long it took, it just felt like it wasn't necessary. Like I said last week, Stephen Yeun apologized. He said they're working on season 3 already. But I mean, it was a good comeback. But the simple fact that it was 3 months, I don't think anybody went back to rewatch episodes 1 through 3. But I don't know. But guys, this is your boy Bernard, aka the Scarlet Spider, and that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg and use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout. I might be reviewing the Magical Society of Negroes. Is it the American Society? Let's look this movie up real quick. The American Society of Magical Negroes. I believe the movie came out already. I'm checking real quick. Yeah, came out March 15th. So I might be reviewing this next week. Depends on if I find the time to. I mean, it's a comedy, so I'm gonna check it out. Y'all be easy. I will see y'all next week. Peace.